All right, welcome to the show. Now let's get into the papers, and let me welcome to the studio Awal Mohammed, member of the MPP's Communications Directorate. He's here. Dr. Bernard Tutubuane is lecturer in political marketing, University of Education, Winneba. Hobson Adoye is director of field operations, United Party, and Mohammed Bataglia is MP for Sisala East and also board member for Tema Oil Refinery. Daily Graphic is reporting that government begins state land reforms. Prospective owners to make 70% upfront payment of market value. That is there. AU endorses President Mohammed's resolution for reparative justice. We can't wait for forever. We can't wait forever for after. AGI demands alternative regional trade access. Attack on Ghanaian tomato traders in Burkina Faso. A GNM militant behind deadly assault. Ghana embassy. State must heighten security alertness. Adam Bonner also says, and at the back page, Awodome Osu cemeteries not full, managers say. So that one is there. If you go to the Daily Guide, gov't suspends selected gold buying license applications. Mofa Foray Link signed digital agric MOU. Burkina Faso terrorist attack, 7 Ghanaians killed, 4 injured. DNA test underway to identify burnt bodies. That's in relation to what happened over the weekend. Ken won't break away from MPP. Spokesperson court orders man to pay $200,000 for breach of marital promise. So that's also in the Daily Guide newspaper. Inside Ghana, poised for first female president, Mahama. No public lands to be allocated without prior approval by Lands Ministry, Amakofi-Boa says, and he is warning in sweeping reforms to safeguard state lands. Mahama, Chief of Staff, BOG Governor, to grace prestigious 2026 Kwahu Business Forum. State Housing Company declares war on land encroacher, says illegal occupants face demolition, and excavator ticketing not linked to illegal mining in Upper Denchwa East. MC Anani Coleman clarifies. MPP eyes 2028 comeback as a fair market rallies Tescon behind Bawumia. Those are the stories on the inside of us here. ECG board chair faces backlash over Pepene contract renewal bid. Details of that are on page 3. gov't suspends selected gold buying license applications. GRA 2026 VAT reforms. Why the new system benefit consumers and businesses alike. So that is that. News Guide Africa. You have GCB Bank prepares to launch non-interest banking window as board embarks on partnership visit to IIFM. That's the International Islamic Financial Market. Also, new era at Energy Commission, renewed leadership spearhead Sprinter Pace reform agenda. That's also there in the News Guide newspaper. And then, of course, you have stop. Okay, no gov't process. That's done. Mahama talks tough demands end to dollar dominance in African trade. That is there. Africa slavery. Mahama to lay reparation proposal at UN General Assembly next month. Let's do a bit of the National Forum. This one says, cocoa sector tensions, broken promises, political spin. Details are on page 2 of the National Forum newspaper. Health sector ambition meets coordination failure. And NDC somersaults at Ayawaso East. Those are the stories on the front page of the National Forum. So that's it there. Let's deal with the matters that we do have. But gentlemen, good morning to you, and thanks for coming.
Good morning.
All of you are on time. I don't know what happened. All of you, why you called yourself?
I was calling.
Honorable, so I will call you to come. Honorable is always quite early. Hobson is also always quite early.
It is myself that you want to really take a swipe. Say you want to say Awal has come early.
Awal has come early. I'm told you are the one who's been calling. Now, let's deal with terror on Ghana's borders, our fears and the missing links on what's happening at the Burkina Faso area. We understand that 7 Ghanaians have been killed, 4 injured so far. Honorable, you are from that area. What exactly must we do that we are not doing to safeguard Ghanaians especially?
Well, let me start by saying a very good morning to you and your team, my strong panelists on the table here. Let me as well extend the morning greetings to my constituent, Sisala East. But before I answer your question, just give me a minute to also send good wishes or well wishes to the Honorable Minister for Education, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, a Member of Parliament for Tamale South, the MP for Sala West, my brother and in-law Mohammed Adam Separo, and Deputy Minister, and the entire team. Unfortunately, last week, Thursday, on the 12th of February, the Honorable Minister for Education and the team, they were coming to support me in my constituency for a program at the College of Education. That is their 40th anniversary and 8th congregation. But unfortunately, 40 minutes to Tumu, they had a very terrible accident.
Yeah.
But for the intervention of God, we would have been getting a very bad story once again. We thank Almighty for their lives, and I'm happy to say that so far, so good. All of them are in very stable and good condition.
Oh, we bless God.
Currently, the Minister for Education is back home from the hospital, and he's responding very fast to treatment. I'm sure he will join the public with his work again quite soon. Let me extend the support being given by my constituents. On that day, the whole of Tumu and the surrounding communities gave the best. And for about 5 hours, we were together at the hospital and we managed to get them to Accra. It is my prayer that this shouldn't happen again. And we do everything possible to minimize the road accidents on our ways. That said, issue about terrorism that is close to our borders has become a grave concern for all of us. And I think on this same platform, I have made a point that one thing that is staring at us has gone beyond just being an economic challenge, but to a national security challenge. That is the youth unemployment, and we believe that when you have youth that are at the border faced with this challenge, a lot of them not getting anything to do and they are idling, then you risk losing them to some of these temptations. But one of the things we should begin to focus on seriously, I know, is the human security aspect. And that makes sure that we try as much as possible as a people to use the best opportunities or potential given to us by Almighty. I think that what transpired was as a result of traders going across the border through to Burkina Faso, close to the Mali border to get tomatoes. And once again, we have the arable land, we have the best of rains, yet we are lacking the best of food or vegetables. And as a result, we have people traveling across dangerous routes to make sure that they create survival for themselves. It is something that we have to, as a people, begin to look at very seriously, because a concept of irrigation, because if you look at the northern sector like this, we just have one seasonal period in terms of rains. And once that is gone, after 3-4 months, you have close to about 8 months to sit idle. And most of them will have to leave their communities to travel down to the southern part to either engage in non-existent jobs or even be at the forest for Galamsey West. What I can say for now is that...
So I would like to come in, but let me bring in a former security consultant in Ghana, someone who really understands the security architecture of this country into this discussion. Prof Aning is someone who's followed these issues for quite a long time. Prof, I'm grateful for joining us here. This is the umpteenth time we're going to be talking about this particular matter. But what do you think is the missing link in all of this that we should pay attention to?
Well, I think, first and foremost, let me express my sympathies to those whose family members have lost their lives. But also, crucially, those who have family members and friends in that area or other parts of Burkina Faso that they can get in contact with. I mean, the sheer anguish must be devastating. I guess it's Dr. George Amo you have in your studio.
No, I have Honorable Bataglia and Honorable Tutubuahene.
Okay, Honorable Buahene, good morning. I think the missing link is that we simply are not using our resources well. We don't. I think the Honorable made this very good point about our citizens traveling all the way to Burkina Faso, probably 600 kilometers from the Ghana border, into what is terrorist territory the last 10 years or so. And that just tells us the desperation of people in making a livelihood. I don't have a problem with that. Yet another missing link is that yesterday I asked one of your producers to check if any institution in Ghana has issued a travel advisory for those trading in Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, whether the Foreign Ministry, Ministry of Agri, Road Transport Union, Tomato Sellers Union. You know, when a state fails its people at their critical point of need, then words of sympathy almost don't mean anything. Because we all know that almost about 65 to 70% of Burkina Faso is almost under terrorist control, that the government is on the back foot, doing what it can, but it's tough. You know, so for our people to voluntarily travel to a war zone in search of livelihood, just tells a dramatic story. That as a people, apart from all the fantastic rhetoric, we are not doing that. And I think the Honorable in your studio made this point about agriculture. So there are lots of missing links. And I think we need to strip the emotion or the emotions from this conversation and ask ourselves what is really happening. Youth unemployment is massive. Look, a lot of practical, implementable suggestions have been made around what can be done for the youth. If one looks at where the town is, where the attack took place, and the general problem, they only do seasonal rachel farming from October, November to sometime around April. Okay, that is right up in the desert. In quite a number of our studies, we have suggested communal irrigation schemes for all year vegetable farming in the northern parts of Ghana. I was just in Navrongo and used Navrongo, Paga, and Mogatanga in that corridor. You see the most fantastic fresh vegetables that can compete or beat what we have in Accra or in the south, because Achampon built the tunnel irrigation dam that people are using to irrigate their farms. I drove through what ought to have been the Pualugu tomato factory that Akumadan didn't produce very much tomatoes. So there is something lacking. And nation that cannot feed itself cannot in the long term also protect itself. So this must be a wake-up call for a national conversation around what does insecurity mean to us? What are the components of insecurity? Honorable has spoken about youth unemployment. We've been talking about it since 2000 in terms of the demographics and how they pose no more a potential threat, but an actual threat. Okay, but it looks to me as if we just don't take it seriously until something dramatic happens. Probably this will end the conversation, this unfortunate incident in Burkina Faso. But I know that something just needs to happen, and we will take our eye on the ball again. It's unfortunate, but that is the kind of nation that we have become, unable to focus on our most critical challenges. And just, hopping from issue to issue, most unfortunate.
But who must bear the ultimate responsibility for our inability, for example, to put ourselves and our weather to good use, to produce enough so our people can feed ourselves? You say that a nation that cannot feed itself cannot protect itself. So who should bear that responsibility? Again, whose responsibility is it? Because if we're looking for someone to say, you need to advise Ghanaians about what they have to do when they're traveling to Burkina Faso, and you didn't do it, who bears that?
Well, normally it's the Ministries of Foreign Affairs that will issue a travel advisory. Now, we know that when something happens, the Western governments are very quick to say, don't travel to this country. Or if you go there, the first thing you should do is to go to the embassy and let them know you are in town. You give them your travel itinerary so they know where you are, and in case of anything, they will do their very best to help you. Okay, I have been in some sticky situations traveling around this continent, and the Ghana embassy has been fantastic in extending, the consular support and all that. So there should be consistent education about where people should be going, what they should be doing, and what they should know. The second failure is that we have this national security strategy document that has a 4-year threat and risk analysis. Okay? Since 2000, that document has not been touched again. As if the threats that we face and the risks that Ghanaians face are static and in stone. So we're going to have a live document, and some ministry or agency that is attuned to what Ghanaians do when they leave our borders. Then that document will say, or would identify doing business in risky environment as a potential threat. Okay, so in conjunction with whatever ministry needs to inform Ghanaians who are traveling, come together to produce a do's and don'ts document, half a page, telephone numbers. What do you do if this thing, such a thing happens? So this is not rocket science. It's just that we just don't want to get our action together. The second, for those who are young and are listening, several years ago, 40, 50 years ago, probably more like 54 years ago, General Champon, or Colonel Champon, then came to power and appointed a man called Frank George Benasco as the agricultural minister. And initiated something called Operation Feed Yourself. If you remember, there was this presidential candidate, Mr. Domestication. Mr. Domestication, together with Frank George Benasco, transformed this slogan, made Ghanaians to understand what it means to be able to feed yourself. And backyard gardens, almost every empty space was used to grow something. Okay, agriculture and the production of basic, foodstuffs became almost like a little community competition. Everybody grew something, shared with the neighbors. Why can't we do that? Okay, we need to bring practical, implementable policies that have impactful ends back to people's lives. And it doesn't cost money. Or it shouldn't cost too much money. But we are interested in fancy, huge projects that eventually fail. We've got to learn to start to feed ourselves. Security is going to be a problem because if you look at the demographics, let me come back. In 20, 30 years, we may be around 70 million. And with this attitude and with Galamsey, food insecurity will be our biggest challenge.
Once we know this, we are being faced by this, that you are even predicting that in 40 years, we could be faced by food insecurity. It means we need to do something now. And we know governments act when certain things happen. What do you think must happen for government to pay attention to agriculture in order to prevent us from depending on, say, insecure zones like the Burkina area to go and bring in tomatoes? What must really happen? What must change?
I don't think we are ready to change. Change will not come until we face a catastrophic set of incidents that really shocks us to the core of our existence. Let me give you an example. When the Alliance of Sahel States declared that they had withdrawn from ECOWAS and shut down their borders, onions within a week became one of the scarcest food commodities on the market. We didn't learn from that. Unfortunately, it is not the deaths of these people that will lead to any change. Once more, I want to go back to the National Security Strategy document.
Okay.
We need bold enough and daring enough to pull that document out and to say, look, 6 years ago, we designed this document. We identified multiple tiers of what poses threats to us. Can we extrapolate and say at 33 million Ghanaians, what percentage of our daily needs in terms of food do we produce in Ghana? What are the interventions that we are making to increase this, production? And see how our food production, if it remains at the same level with our population growing, can meet our need. I have several friends who have lands and they want to farm. You can't get labor.
Yeah.
So quite a number of the labor that we have on our farms come from our neighboring countries. So there's a national psyche that says farming is not an honorable thing. So once a year, we do Farmers' Day, a lot of noise. A house is given to the best farmer. But what about the small farmers who need an extension officer to visit? What about the small farmers who need somebody to come and provide knowledge about some diseases? Feed. Okay, so we have a booming population. We have growing demand, but we are not doing what it takes to bring about the necessary transformation. So there's always this gap. And before those who are listening say, there goes that crazy man. He's sitting in his armchair, which I am, with my nice smelling coffee, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. I am a big cattle rancher. Okay, in the last 20 years, I haven't had an agri extension officer come to my ranch before. So I've had to, my farm manager, Ibrahim, has had to learn as to how to identify the diseases of the cattle, what medications they need, what injections they need, and all that kind of thing. Okay? So the farm grows, but is growing without the sophisticated technical support and knowledge that the state must provide.
Okay.
And I think lots of small-scale, middle-scale farmers are facing the same challenge. So national security must take that document and then say, look, what are the threats that Ghana is facing today, in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years? But this is a flexible document, so the threats will continue to change. One threat that is constant, if we don't change, will be the food insecurity one, because the population will grow. Okay, so food insecurity, demographics must continue to remain tier one, but revising it consistently to see whether we are making an improvement in our food production, storage, distribution, pricing, all those things. But as we speak this morning, I doubt if there are any plans to begin that process.
I'm grateful to you, Professor Prof Aning, for joining us here this morning.
It's always a pleasure.
He is a security expert that you had us speak to. Honorable, I was with you. Now, if you listen to him closely, he makes mention of it. And I'll come to Hobson, because Hobson is also amongst us, the guy with the security background here. He talks about the National Security Strategy document that was developed, but we're not following. And he warns that food insecurity could be our pain, could be a problem in the next 30, 40 years. So being in Parliament and hearing that there is something called National Security Strategy document, and the fact that we are faced with that threat from the north, what do you think we have to do, especially from you parliamentarians?
Yeah, well, I think Professor Aning has put the issues in perspective, clearly stating the missing link that we are all suffering from. And I think that what he stated is the obvious, that you and me on countless occasions have always said that this is a country that we have all the beautiful laws and beautiful policies. Implementation has always become the issue. And I have made that point that God has blessed us with all that we need to be comfortable. But unfortunately, pardon my language this morning, what is supposed to help us manage is to become better people who enjoy our lives in our little country is the attitude that we are missing. Largely, he spoke about youth unemployment issues. He spoke about even a document to be able to promptly alert people who are traveling towards that. You just asked a mother, a father that will leave our country traveling 600 kilometers. That's 105 kilometers after Ouagadougou. That's close to Mali border. to bring tomatoes. In a country that when it rains, our houses are flooded.
Yeah.
When it rains, our houses are flooded. It gets to a point we have to spill water at Akusumo because there's too much water. In 3 months' time, we have to turn off the turbine because we don't have water to power the turbines again. You get what it means? That's who we are. And I do agree because it's a wake-up call because it's not far from us because it appears that we are seen it to be far from us. And clearly it is being indicated. The Global Terrorism Index indicated that Burkina Faso as of last year is the most hit in terms of terrorism attack. It's just here. And West African Network for Peace Building, the one that also indicated in West Africa alone, over 2,197 attacks related to terrorism.
And I think Prof Aning says, what, 70% or so under control of terrorists?
Exactly, yeah, that's in Burkina Faso.
That's huge.
Yeah, but you can see that.
That's huge.
That's what is happening. And one thing we are looking at, even though at the northern sector, when you go, you've seen the military installations being taking place, simulations are being done to be able to counter terrorism. You see it, but you cannot also deny the fact that we have very porous borders. And what we see closely, that's what I started by saying that what is supposed to be our potential, if we are not careful, becomes our threat. Because at the point, when I travel back home and I see the young people, I have a feeling that this country must rise up. If it's about Greek, I don't see the reason why we should go hungry as a people. I don't see the reason why. Compared to Burkina Faso, there's no reason. So I think that yes, time has come. And he pointed a very important reason that it is once again an event that has wakened us to talk for about a week. After a week, something comes.
Yeah.
He said it.
That's true.
All that he pointed clearly just is a reflection of who we are. A nation of talkers who will react to something and then will go back to sleep. And we believe that everything we are, God is always in control.
Parliament has a big role to help us in this.
Parliament, including you and everybody.
Yes.
You see, sometimes when we begin to separate leadership from the followers, it creates a problem.
We're not separated.
Good.
But we're only saying that if you,
Yeah.
parliamentarians should raise a question on the House and call on the Agri Minister, for example. Why aren't we doing, maybe, for example, what is our plan for the Palugu Dam?
Yeah.
So that a lot more farmers can cultivate their land.
Sure.
Or what are we doing? What's the plan for Ghana to be food secure in the next 30 years? The minister will come there and lay out a plan.
Of course.
If we don't call on him, he's there.
There are thousands of questions being asked. Thousands of questions. Even as a member of business committee, we know the backlog of questions waiting to be asked, about 300 or something, even for this meeting alone. There are thousands. There's one thing asking the question to be answered in Parliament and following through what we say. The point is not about asking the question. We can easily ask the questions. Issues about Palugu before, at a point it became political, where even they talk about mismanagement of money. We all saw that. But
When it hasn't been.
at what point will we stop all this and look at the country first as a people? That's the most important thing. That's the most important. At what point can we all stop this and realize, no, this time the country Ghana means everything to all of us. Let's make sure that we take the basic steps to get things done rightly. That's it. We will make effort because, like, I've always said that if you really extend the argument to Africa, we cannot be sitting in close to 60%, 65% uncultivated arable land in Africa, yet we seem to be the poorest. When now the new norm is that people are saying that wealth creation will come from the agriculture sector.
Green gold.
Good. So how can that be? How do we think that every morning we'll have a cargo flies coming into Ghana with tomatoes for us to eat in this country? How is that possible? But I've seen that government has also brought in a measure where we are looking at Feed Ghana project, where we think that we should do the basic test to make sure that at least that issue of food insecurity is nipped in the bud.
For a country that has arable lands that we do,
Yeah.
and we say Feed Ghana, does it take us that long to ensure that we are implementing the basic things that will give us that food self-sufficiency we are looking for?
It basically has to even do with national orientation. That's what he said. Those days you and me when we were in school, if you've done something bad and they want to say you'll be a farmer. Farming in itself is used as a punishment for somebody who doesn't want to, who is not serious in school. Today, farming is seen as the most lucrative thing that we can sustain, that can actually sustain the economic background of our country. Are you getting it? So what is the orientation being given out? How are we seeing farming? He talks about extension service officers. You have your farm, you cannot even allocate them. We all know. He mentioned issues about farmers' day awards and all that. We've all seen the mockery of it. So the farmer, who is the farmer? Is the farmer a specialized person who is an administrative person that goes into tilting the land? No. Farming is a whole business that we should begin to look at. Value addition is something that we should focus on. And I think that we can create the world that we desire using agriculture. So to me, I still want to emphasize that it is one, the orientation. Number two, embracing what we think will actually transform us as a people. We need to be first comfortable because we've been trained as a people, even sitting down in Ghana here, we think that eating some other food that are Western, has Western connotation, that are much more better than the food that you prepare, you have here. If you have that kind of mentality, who will you be? How did this happen in this country? We think that eating some particular foods are the best way of living. Shows that, quote and unquote, you are the elite person, somebody who is living good. Those days, today, mushroom used to be something. Those days, mushroom used to be something we just go out and pick. Today, people are paying more. People who are wealthy are paying more to eat mushrooms.
All right. Let's see how that goes. Let me bring in Hobson Adoya here. Hobson,
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of security, there are fears that what's happening in Burkina Faso can spill over into Ghana. Honorable mentioned the fact that you see security installations coming up in the north. There are simulations happening. But if you hear what has happened to our citizens, because this happened in the Burkina Faso area, not in the Ghana end, what else must we do to ensure that we are safeguarding our citizens, especially those who are up on the border and those who travel to Burkina Faso?
Thank you very much. Good morning to all. Let me take this opportunity to thank my people in Achavi. Yesterday, I was there, and then we had a sword cutting for Achavi Senior High Technical School.
Oh, they are going to build a senior high school there?
Oh, yeah, we have it. It's about 30, 35 years old.
Oh, it's there?
Yeah,
so the
it's
sword
there.
cutting was for what?
For a dining hall and then the kitchen. They need a bigger dining hall and the kitchen. And then same thing happened in Chiame, where Apenyo Makins come from.
Okay.
And then the road from Abo to Achavi proper to were inspected. Work will start very soon.
Hey. Yeah.
So,
I know you know what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because I take development of my area very serious.
Okay.
I go to Kwame Agbodja, disturb him all the time. So they know. Special greetings to His Excellency Dan Abu Dhabi. You know, the whole Aumafia or the Agno State. He is the stool father.
Okay.
And he comes from Achavi.
Okay.
So, just to say hello to them. Yeah, back to the question. You know, this issue was not a targeted incident.
Okay.
They were not targeted that, oh, this time we are going to meet these Ghanaians and then discipline them, kill them, or something like that. It was something that happened, and they happened to be there. You know, in West African countries, I would say Ghana is the only country now that has not had any jihadist attack. Yeah. Almost all the countries within the West Africa is experiencing some of these attacks and the rest. So first and foremost, we'll just applaud our security agencies, especially the national security from President Akufo-Addo's. I mean, previous government had done it, but I saw under Akufo-Addo what Kandapa and the team did, which is commendable, and we need to, build upon it. Prof mentioned the National Security Strategic document.
The document.
That was done under Honorable Kandapa, and that brought, if you see something, say something, those kind of things. And I know that our borders up north is secured. Supposing they try to come in, I am very sure that they could have been stopped. They cannot come in. from what we are having at the moment. So we'll just appeal to our security coordinator, Mr. COP Razak, and the team, to up the game there. What I can say is that, why that? All because of what we eat. The little that we get into our pocket. So people travel here, go up north and buy tomatoes to come and sell. Burkina is a desert country. We here, at least, we have some kind of forest. We have arable lands here.
A lot of them.
Yes. A friend brought Israeli. They were going to Volta region. I said, so what are these? He saw the wheat. Oh, they are wheat. What are you using it for? So nothing. But I've been to Israel before. Desert. Before the farm, they have to take the sand and then, dig, go somewhere and then get another soil to. But as at that time, 2009, they are number 3 in the world. When we talk of food, they can feed half of the world for about 5 years. They have food there. We have the land here. We cannot cultivate.
We don't have the support.
It's not about the support.
If we have,
what support?
Why are we not doing it?
What support is Burkina Faso getting that Ghana is not getting?
Yeah. Oh, no.
What support?
So what is our problem?
From the government.
In fact, from the government, I understand.
Yeah, okay.
You see,
what is the GDP?
No. it's not about GDP.
It is.
No. You see, Honorable was talking about attitude. Not just attitude of individual farmers, but attitude of even those in authority. All right. When the current president of Burkina Faso took over, I
was thinking he's ending so that at least
he wants
no,
to.
even before he took over, tomatoes, we go there all the time.
Yes,
but we realize they have even stepped up the capacity of production.
Yes.
Bringing in machines.
The factories and other.
Yes, and even exporting them or taking them from Ghana Harbour. Sometimes when we are on this stretch,
machinery.
yes, when we are on this stretch, look at the number of cars carrying various technologies to Burkina Faso. All right, that's what we are talking about.
Yes, I understand. But we have our farmers across the country, especially down south here. At least we have people who farm along the river side and all those kind of things. What are we doing to make sure that we don't travel far to go and bring tomatoes? Are you getting it? Yesterday when I was coming, I got to Dabala Junction and I decided to buy tomatoes. Full rubber paint. Very cheap. Are you getting it? But
that's a local.
Do they have the capacity to do in a large scale? That's where maybe government will come in and those kind of things. But before then.
So land for me, let me bring it down.
Oh, I just started. You see, Burkina can produce throughout. Ghana is not. You were mentioning Poalugu. You see, the talk shop is too much. Are you getting it? We were here. You people too, you are not doing Ghana good. The media.
Well, how so?
You are not checking us well. We were here at the Public Accounts Committee. We got to know that a final payment of Poalugu Dam amount around $12 million was paid. And nothing happened.
Final payment?
They went there and not even a single block. But what happened? In the Auditor General's report, it was final payment. We don't know
there is no
type, which phase or whatever, but it was there, final payment. 11.9 or so, almost $12 million. And nothing happened to it. As at now, what happened? Who was in charge? Who received that money? We are not saying anything. If we have that dam in place, I know the irrigations and other things will go. That's why we need to do more. MPP brought something, one village, one dam, which sounds very good, but they mismanage it. Are you getting it? Instead of maybe taking their time to do maybe very big, even if you do 4, very big one that can service about hundreds of farmers, that would be better than the ducks, whatever, what do they call it, boreholes and other things that they were doing. So we need to be focused and make sure. I know Honorable Opoku is very focused on this Feed Ghana and other things. We need to go extra mile and make sure that we. You see, Agric Development Bank was brought in purposely for some of these things, but they miss it out, and they tend to be a commercial bank. And then
is it not about the focus that leadership is not able to get institutions to have? Because if we set you up for Agric, why did we sit down for them to shift focus?
Yeah, it's also about leadership. You see, it's the canker of this country. I went to Dubai, I was talking to someone. He said, oh, here we don't have anything. All we have is leadership. People do things to make a name. When you come to Ghana, nobody cares about name.
Yeah.
All they need is pocket.
That's for orientation.
Are you getting it? I want to get about 15 mansions in Accra. I want to get this in Kumasi. I want to get this in Tamale. That is all. Oh, I have to get about 10 filling stations. This and that. For what? But the name, they don't want it. That, oh, it was Awar Mohammed who did this. They don't want it. Oh, Hope Sinadoe did that. We don't want it. All we need is our pocket. So what are we going to do to change that mindset and make sure that when you are put in office, make a name than making money? What are we going to do? That's why I'm saying that the media, you are failing the state because you have a whole chapter in the Constitution. You are to make sure that you hold we, the politicians, accountable.
Aren't we doing that?
It's not enough.
At the end of the day, what else can we do than to expose what you...
It's not enough. When you expose me and then you sit back, what happens?
We don't sit back.
You people broke even the...
You've seen the tax order, I'm saying,
yes.
You've done.
So
some people are saying that, well, after you've done it, it doesn't mean because we've seen it, we have to interdict it, we have to investigate. So continue until they do that. You should continue. Are you getting it? You don't expose and then sit back. I said it last week here that I called 4th Estate people to go into a scholarship secretariat under the previous administration. They went there and they did a great job. Joy News, you broke the news here. Yeah. What has happened? You just broke the news and then left it there. You did not follow up for someone to face the law and then get the money back to the state. Which one are you talking about that we didn't follow up? Which one haven't you followed up?
Which one?
Which one haven't we followed up?
The scholarship secretariat that wrote there. They were selling the scholarship to people. And then 4th Estate got into it, and then they uncovered that, oh, it was true.
Yeah.
And Joy News, you broke the news. Are you getting it? That time, I would say, those who were in charge of 4th Estate were with you people. And then you just left it. After breaking it.
What shows that we've left it?
So what is they say now?
Yeah, so you need to ask first for us to tell you what is happening first before.
I am saying that just accept that yes, you are not doing enough.
No.
You need
I won't accept that.
You will not accept that.
Yeah,
so when you tell the politician, will the politician accept? We all need to accept our flaws.
But it is
what I mean is that
someone is being paid to ensure that right things don't happen in this country.
Are you not being paid to work? Are you not being paid to work?
I'm being paid to work. That's what we do. What is the special prosecutor doing? That same issue. Isn't he supposed to go into because there's politically exposed people are involved?
And I'm saying that once politically exposed people are involved, you don't sit back and say because of that, you sit back until we get people
I am
tired.
saying that we are not sitting back, but I will not accept that.
Since when?
We are not doing enough for the country. We are.
The whole of 2025, I did not hear you or Joy News on that issue.
Which one? 2025.
2025, the whole of 2025. We did not hear you.
Hey.
This issue came up 2024. You broke it to the people of Ghana 2024. And the whole of 2025, I did not hear you.
Well,
I am saying that.
Well, this is not about us.
I am saying, not about Joy News. I am saying that the entire media
I'm saying it's
in
not about
Ghana.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's not. We shouldn't make this.
So is it chapter 21 or so of the 1992? Maybe. Yeah. So you can refer me to. You see, once you have been dedicated this whole chapter, we are saying that some of these things you need to help. Are you getting it? Because if not corruption, I mean, Ghana won't be here. Look at Auditor General's report. Look at the monies that go waste. And then you just oppose with the IMF loan that we went for, the facility 3 billion. Whilst Auditor General is talking about 12 billion, 18 billion, and the rest. You see, so we are pleading with you, hold us.
We're here.
Both government and opposition, hold us.
We're here.